What's going on, everyone? ProtoPawn here. Welcome to the channel. Before we dive into it, for any of you who are returning to the channel, you may have noticed the sound quality of this video already is far better than anything that I've posted before, and that is due to the lovely Blue Yeti that I bought. So I'm very excited for this thing. I've been playing around for it for a bit, finally landed on a spot that I feel comfortable with settings-wise, and I'm really enjoying this thing. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for the sound quality of the videos going forward to be better, with the small caveat of older videos that I'm still editing that, you know, I recorded without the Blue Yeti. Those are still going to come out, and besides those few videos, going forward, sound quality going to be a lot better. So I'm very excited for that. Guys, we are back once again with a tier list video. The last time we did one of these, we did the fairy type tier list here. And as of the recording of this video, it's only 3 weeks old. And apart from a masochist episode that I did that got 980 some views within like 3 or 4 days, and then basically dead stopped cold, and the first episode of my masochist series that is getting closer to the year mark, I think we're a couple months off from that being a year old, it having over 800 views to it, that has been gained very slowly over the correlation of its post. This fairy type list is definitely by far the fastest, steadiest growing views that I've ever had on a video, at 520, and probably by the time that I actually post this video, it's gonna probably have a lot more than that, I would suspect. So with the success of this video, it's kind of greenlit me to continue the series, at least for the time being, as long as you guys keep watching it and keep recommending what type we should do next. I'm going to do just that. And with that, the reason why we are here doing the bug type today is because this lovely commenter suggested that we should do the bug type next. So that's what we're going to be doing today, guys. So let's dive right on into it. For those of you who are new to my tier lists and you haven't checked out the other ones yet, definitely go back and do that. But I grade Pokemon based off of how I think they look, how pleasing their aesthetics are. These are not tier lists based off of how well Pokemon do competitively. So let's get that out of the way. First off, we have Butterfree, and a lot of the regional bugs are going to land themselves here in B tier. Butterfree, you know, nostalgic. I like them, but design-wise, I think they could have done better. Beedrill, I always liked Beedrill. Beedrill's going to probably sit somewhere here in the B tier, but as a regional bug, he's definitely one of my favorite regional bugs. Some regional bugs probably might find themselves a little bit higher or maybe just slightly lower on this list as we go. Things do tend to change as we go along. So yeah, Beedrill definitely like a lot better than Butterfree. Moving on, we have Parasect. I have a lot of love for this little bug. Back when I played the original Silver game, he was on my team just because it was something I found early on in the game as a Paras, and it did really well for me throughout a good part of that game, and I do have a lot of love for that little bug for those reasons. And I do think his overall design is slightly cooler than Butterfree's, in my opinion. Moving on, we have Venomoth here, and again, Venomoth kind of basic too, but I do like it a little bit better than Butterfree. So we'll move on here. Next up, we have Pinsir. Pinsir is somewhere just going to sit up high here in the B tier. He could find himself later on lower in the A tier, but for now we'll stick him right up here at the top of B. Moving on, Gen 2, we have Ladian. Ladian, I like the design of. I think it's pretty clean here. Yeah, I mean, overall, it looks pretty clean. I like it. It's definitely not I don't think as cool looking as Beedrill, of course, but I do like me a good Ladian aesthetically. Moving on, we have Ariados, and Ariados, I've always loved the way this thing looks. It's going to definitely sit up here, somewhere in A tier. We're going to stick it there. I know competitively, outside some very niche situations, it has never been a good Pokemon, really, especially during a playthrough. Unfortunately, I think they needed to give this thing better stats, but again, based off of pure aesthetics, I always liked the way this thing looked. Moving on, we have Fortress. Fortress, I've never used before, always wanted to, but just never got around to doing it. But overall, I definitely do like his looks. I definitely couldn't put it in A tier, but I think a high B tier ranking for it is pretty good. Now, moving on, we have our first S tier Pokemon. It is probably, it has been my favorite bug for the longest time, and it probably, by the end of this, will be sitting right where I'm putting it right now. Of course, at the end of these videos, I always try to do the rearrange the S tier at the very end when anything lands in there. So for right now, he's going to stick there. Maybe something might edge him out, but I highly doubt it. For those of you who have seen my rock type tier list, this should come to no surprise to you. Shuckle is still going to find himself in C tier. I am not going to reiterate that. Moving on, we have Heracross. Heracross, definite solid A tier Pokemon design-wise. Especially just, I mean, the typing-wise, bug fighting, really good. It's what Pinsir should have had, you know, back in Gen 1, but he never got it. And Heracross, just really cool looking. Again, these guys kind of go in tandem together. So you know what? I think we just moved Pinsir up to A tier. Just based off of that. Really, really cool, solid looking Pokemon. Moving on, we have Beautifly reaching the Hoenn region here now. Beautifly definitely looking pretty good here. Definitely don't think I like it better than Ladian. I just really like the way that Ladian looks. It looks very, very clean. But Beautifly definitely better to design than, you know, Venomoth and Butterfree. Definitely over Butterfree. Now, moving on, we have Dustox here. I always liked Dustox. I always thought he was really cool. So we're going to put him just slightly above Beedrill here. I think that's pretty fair for him. Moving on, we have Masquerain. Masquerain, I used the first time that I played a Alpha Sapphire run. I picked up the Surskit, evolved it into Masquerain because I've never used it before that point and always wanted to try it out. And I really enjoyed using this Pokemon. I used it for the competitions that are in Hoenn, and it did me very well in that. So I have a really good appreciation for this Pokemon. I think it is very underrated, and I definitely think I like it better than everything else that has so far come on this list, so that is where it is going to be. Moving on, we have a strong contender for possible S tier. The caveat here to Shedinja is that technically Nincada evolves into Ninjask and Shedinja as long as you have the extra space for the Shedinja. Ninjask should be actually graded as its own separate Pokemon for this, but we're just going to say it resides probably in a low A tier category because it is a pretty cool looking Pokemon. As far as Shedinja here goes, it's either going to sit at the top of A tier, but it might come to find itself somewhere in S tier by the end of this video, so I'm going to state that here and now. Moving on, we have two Pokemon that I'm going to grade side by side, which is Illumise and Volbeat. I definitely like Illumise a little bit better than the way they designed Volbeat, but I don't think I like it as good as Beautifly, but I think landing them here is pretty fair. Again, for those of you who have seen my rock type tier list, this should come to no surprise, but I really love the way that they designed Armaldo here. probably gonna, it's still gonna sit in A tier. It could find itself in S tier in this list. We'll see by the end of it. For now, we'll just keep it in A tier and we'll move on. Gen 4, Cricketune, C tier. B tier. I know this Pokemon is, you know, usage-wise is not that great, but at least its design is interesting enough. I'm just chipping along here. I think honestly, with all this change, well, no, Parasect is still going to be B tier. We're going to move these guys down to C tier, top of C tier. I don't see them getting too low on C tier's list. I think that's pretty fair. Mothin, very interesting looking dude, to say the least. Maybe we'll put him... We'll put him next to Beautifly, I guess. I think that's pretty fair. I like that. I like that. That's a good spot for him. Vespiquen. Vespiquen is definitely a A-tier Pokemon design-wise. Very cool. Bug flying. Don't really have too much more to say on it. Vespiquen just... It's a solid-looking Pokemon. Definitely A-tier worthy. Definitely like it, I think, a little bit better than Pinsir, in all honesty. But I still like me Heracross a little bit better. So, there we go. Now, here is another caveat Pokemon where Scorpy here, or Scorpy, however you want to say it, when it evolves, it loses its bug typing. So, I couldn't put... I could have put Drapion in this just for the weird caveat that, you know, if it had a third typing, it would be bug type still, but I decided, no, we'll save that for its respected poison and dark type tier list. So, Scorpy is a weird one out here. But I do like me the way this thing is designed. Far better than a lot of these things over here. Alright, I guess we are going to bump Parasect down to C tier. I still respect the Pokemon a lot, though. But we'll move these guys over. And I'm going to put Scorpy right here. I think that's a fair, decent place for it to be. Alright, moving on, we have Yanmega, which is not a Mega, and I don't have much more to say then. Honestly, this, you can make an argument this is actually really, really fantastically designed. You know what? It might be S tier worthy. It might be S tier worthy, but I think I'm going to keep it in A tier for the time being. I definitely don't like it as much as Armaldo, though. I still like Armaldo's look better. So we'll keep it there. What is this? Leavanny, I want to say this is. Leavanny? Is that correct? Very basic. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say to this. It's Grass Bug. Just like this Grass Bug over here, but there's no way that I like it more than Parasect. But design-wise, I think it at least still looks a little bit more interesting than these two here, and definitely more than Shuckle. Scolipede here, I think is what this thing is called, right? Scolipede. A tier. Really good design Pokemon. I don't think I like it as good as Pinsir, but definitely A tier worthy. Very cool design. Again, if you've seen the rock type tier list, you know that I really dislike the design that they did for Crustle. So Crustle D tier probably will sit at the top of D tier here. Moving on very quickly into a Pokemon that I absolutely love the design of, Excavalier here. Again, another bug steel type. Definitely S tier worthy. Gonna definitely stick them up there. My favorite melee weapon of all time is a lance, and this thing has 2 lances attached to it as arms, and yeah, I don't really have much more to say about that. I guess I could have done the pre-evolutions of both of these things because they are technically their own separate thing, but whatever. End results are usually what we're going for here. Definitely S tier worthy for Excavalier. Garvantula. I love Garvantula. Another A tier Pokemon. Definitely like it better than... We'll put him right here next to Ariados. I still like Ariados. We'll do this. I think I like it better like this. You've seen my my electric type tier list. He definitely landed himself in A tier before. He's going to do that yet again here with the bug typing. There we go. Excelgor here. This is the other one. This is this thing's counterpart, but Excelgor here. I'll put him at the bottom of B tier for the respect that this thing did competitively. Like, it wasn't the greatest thing, but in very certain situations that it came up in, it actually did very well for what it had to offer, but it's kind of bland in my opinion design-wise, so I'll do B for bland. I think I actually do like it a little better than these. Actually, I think it's going to separate Illumise and Volbeat. I think I like Illumise's aesthetic look better still, so we'll put them right there. I think that's pretty fair. Moving on, we have Durant. Durant I played on a Steel-type playthrough of Pokemon Shield, and I really like this guy. Again, another Bug Steel type. I think that makes 4 of them. These 4 are Bug Steels. A tier. I do like the way... I mean, this thing just really... What happened there? This thing just really looks like... I don't know what's going on there. It just really looks like a good, you know, fully armored, encased, like fully armor-cladded ant. The way it's got like the rivets, and it's really good looking. I think I actually do like it better than Scolipede. Honestly, Vespiquen. I think it's going to land itself here. I can't, in good faith, put it higher than Heracross, so I think right there is a good spot for him. Moving on, we have Volcarona, and Volcarona, as we all know, is probably the best bug-type Pokemon that has ever hit the game in the history of Pokemon. Very good Pokemon. When it had Quiver Dance and did all that stuff, it was amazing. Aesthetically, yeah, I'd say it couldn't be any lower than high A tier, but I'm going to say it's definitely S tier worthy. We'll put it up here. I still like these better, of course. So far, this is pretty accurate. This might move or stay where it is, depending on what else gets into S tier, but I think that's pretty fair. Genesect. Genesect, again, another Bug Steel, actually. Wow. Genesect is a legendary Pokemon, and as far as bug type goes, it definitely looks more like a Steel type, of course. A lot of them do, in all honesty. But Genesect, I think definitely it looks cool. Design-wise, it might be S tier worthy or maybe high A tier. I think Shedinja here is probably going to sit right here at the top of A, in all honesty. I think I actually like Genesect's look better than Volcarona here. Yeah. So we'll do that. So far, the top 3 are all Bug Steel. That's insane. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 Bug Steel types. Wow. All right. Vivian is next. I do really like the way that they made Vivian look. I cannot get the Illumise to save my life right now. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't think I like it better than Beautifly, so we'll put this right here. I think that's pretty fair. I don't really have much to say on it. I've never used the Pokemon before, but I do like the way that this thing looks, and it gets a bunch of different color palettes, so it's pretty cool. But overall, I think I still like Beautifly a little bit better. if you see my electric type tier list, you already know I love Vikavolt here. And this thing just pegged all of these guys down immediately. I don't have much more to say than that. In all honesty, it's going to separate these two. If I can get this. There we go. Alright, yep, that's better. Vikavolt, definitely one of the coolest bugs in my opinion. His shiny is amazing as well. But I can't in good faith put him past my boy Scizor here, so... Alright, let's move on. Okay, so in my fairy type tier list, I had the caveat that Ribombee here, we put in the A tier category for A for aesthetics as a fairy, but as a bug, I don't think it looks as good. In all honesty, it probably should have been more like a B tier in the fairy type, but we gave it A for aesthetics and theme. On theme, it is very on point. But since we are no longer on the theme of fairy types, we can grade it where it should actually belong. And in all honesty, I'm trying to think of any of these other Pokemon up here that I think don't look as good as it. Top of C tier. In this video, we're going to put it where it belongs, at the very top of C tier. It's cute. It's, you know, it's little and whatever, but actually, I still like my Parasect better than this thing, so we will move that like that. I think that's pretty fair. All right. Now, as we're getting closer to the end of this, things are going to really kick up a notch because a lot of these things look absolutely amazing. So we can start with the pretext that, man, I don't know. Again, we're just going in order here, but Araquanid. And I found a different image for this, but Araquanid, honestly, I don't know where to put him. He's either in A tier, at the very top of A tier, or he's S tier. Competitively, this thing is actually pretty good too, in the formats that it was in originally. When it first came out, it was really good. But aesthetically, I still think it is one of the cooler bug types. I think S tier. S tier is fine. Water bug, really cool. Same with, same with this here. But I don't think this is S tier worthy. I think this is a high A tier. I don't like it as much as Araquanid. Glycopod is third in line in A tier for me. I definitely like it better than Mega. I definitely like it better than these guys here. But I still like these better. And in all honesty, the more that I look at it, I'm glad that I didn't put Shedinja in S tier, because Armaldo, I still think, design-wise, is still more interesting to look at. It's cooler. Alright, now we're getting into the funnies of the generations that the, the Ultra Beasts came out in. What was that? Was that X and Y or Black and White? I can't remember. It was sometime within there. It was definitely... Or was that Sun and Moon? No, that was Sun and Moon. Right? Yeah, Buzzwole, or Buzzswole, as, we can refer to him as. He's just the most jacked guy you've ever seen. I don't know why he disappears when he gets too big, but okay. Anyway, this guy really... I don't know where to put this guy. As a meme, you could put him up in S tier. I mean, the color palette on him is pretty solid, in all honesty. But I don't think I like him better than my Armaldo over here. So let's continue to move things down the A tier list here. we'll put him 4th in line in A tier. I think that's fair. Now, Pheromosa, there's really not much to look at here. I know competitively it's pretty decent when it was around. It did some interesting things. I think that's fair. Orbeetle. Okay, so Generation 8. Pokemon Shield is the one that I played. It is definitely not C tier. I'm looking something up real quick. So I played a Psychic type playthrough recently. It was one of my more recent ones that I have completed. I love this dude. This dude did so good. The setup that I had on it was incredible. The Gigantamax form is really cool to look at. Like a giant UFO. Can I put him in S tier? I mean, I like the way that he plays. I don't think I can put him in S tier, though. I don't know. Do I like it better than normal, though? That's basically what it's boiling down to. I don't think so. I don't think so. We're gonna continue to just move things down slightly here. Armaldo, you have definitely moved yourself up a little bit higher than you were in the rock type tier list, because in that it was third place in A tier. Right now it's sitting at the top of A. All right, Cinescorch. Cinescorch is pretty cool looking. I gotta give the creators of this Firebug. Not as good as Volcarona here. Definitely not S tier worthy in my opinion. I like Orbeetle definitely better than it. Scolipede. Let's just bump these guys down, and then we can put Centiskorch right here. Obviously, its Gigantamax form looks a bit different, and that looks pretty cool too. But I think right here, towards the lower end of A tier, is fair for Centiskorch. Alright, Frostmoth. Frostmoth is pretty cool. No pun intended. Alright, Kricketune, you're going to move down a tier again. You can sit at the top of C tier. Aesthetically, yeah, you're really not all that great. Move this down, we'll move this down. Illumise, we can definitely move down. This can sit here still above. That's going to go here. This is going to go here. Scorpii can come down. Frostmoth is going to probably sit here for me. Okay, Ladian can move down. Okay, Beedrill can move down. Dustox can move down. Okay, this is really climbing B tier real fast here. I'm definitely not going to put it above Masquerain. I still like Masquerain a little bit too much. I think that's fair. Very high B tier Pokemon design-wise. Now we have the other version of Scyther / Scizor in Kleavor, and I can't remember where I put him on the rock tier list. I put him in A tier in that, and that is definitely fair. A tier is very full in this list, that is for sure. I do like a lot of these bug designs, I gotta hand it to them. Kleavor, I think there. I like the simplicity of Shedinja, but Kleavor is definitely really cool, so we'll put him in 4th place for A tier. I don't really have much to talk about him. I've never used him before. All of these Gen 9 Pokemon I've never used. Spidops is next. Spidops is a C tier Pokemon. It's an interesting concept that they were going with, but I don't really have much to talk about him. it is what it is. Levani can drop, or Bombi can drop here. We'll put him right here. I, again, can't put him above Parasect. I have too much respect for Parasect. Okay, so next on the list is Lokix. Lokix. Again, not again. This is bug and dark typing. I really enjoy the way they made this thing look. I'm putting it in S tier personally. That thing is really cool. He just, I don't really have much to say about it. I really enjoy the simplicity, but at the same time, the intricate details that they went into some of this. Yeah, no, A tier. Definitely not more than Araquanid, or S tier. Definitely not more than Araquanid, so I'm going to put him up there. Simple design, but actually made it look really cool. Rabska? Is that how you say this? Rabska? You know what? He's a little bit more interesting than the way that Shuckle looks. And finally, we have Slitherwing. Slitherwing is another form of Volcarona, and they, again, very design-wise, looks very good. I think this is the most that we've ever had put into S tier before. And I don't know which one I actually like better looks-wise. Do I like normal Volcarona, or do I like this Slitherwing? I think I like Volcarona just slightly better. We have one thing sitting down here in D tier. But, yeah, I think the original rock bug Pokemon here with Shuckle definitely is better looking than this thing. So, usually we have a couple things in D tier, but not this time. I think bugs, for the most part, I mean, a lot of A tiers, a lot of B tiers, surprisingly more in S tier than I originally thought was going to wind up there. But in all honesty, I don't think I have to rearrange a single thing in S tier. Scizor is going to reign supreme as my favorite bug type of all time. Since Gen 2. Again, Gen 2 is my favorite gen, and Scizor was one of my favorite Pokemon to come out of that generation. So, there we go. There is the bug type tier list, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Guys, if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. As of right now at this recording, I am very close. I am 4 subscribers away from hitting that 100 mark, so that'll be phenomenal if we can crush that subscribe button right now on this video and get me to that point and over it. So, guys, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, that is the bug type tier list. I've taken up enough of your time for today, so until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. I'm ProtoPawn. Peace.